This is brutally honest advice that I wish I would have told myself when I was younger. And a lot of what I do, I want to inspire somebody, and the other half of me, I feel like someone watching might actually give a fuck. And so I'd be lying if I said part of me isn't doing this because I want to be understood. We're all selfish to a degree, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and try to act like I'm oh so holy and righteous. I have my own demons. I'm not perfect by any means, and I know I'm fucked up. I vividly remember when I was starting my journey, trying to fucking become someone, something. I vividly remember sleeping in this exact room here at the warehouse. And I was so broke, I couldn't even go home to bathe. I didn't have money for gas. There'd be a gym close by, and I'd go there maybe once every 2 or 3 days to shower. And I'd come back here and just soak all alone in solitude, in my own madness. I vividly remember how that felt. I vividly remember that. I don't want anyone to ever feel that way. Ever. And so I figure if I could say one thing that can touch someone's heart so that they know they're not fucking alone, like, I get it, then I feel like I've done my job and I could fucking die happy. Look, I get it. You're in this phase in life where you have no one. You dream so big for yourself. You don't even fit in with your own friends anymore. To a degree, I don't measure friendship on if we are friends. I measure it on how good of a friend are you to me and how good of a friend am I to you. And I didn't fucking have that. I get this phase. I get it. You're in this phase where you don't fit in and you're not good enough yet to enter a new group. And so you're stuck in this middle. It's this sad, very lonely, isolated phase of sulk and despair and distraught and heartache and insanity, like trying to figure it out. I get it. I really do. I remember moments where I would be here, sleeping here, haven't bathed in 2 to 3 days. I'm freaking losing weight. I lost like 15 pounds, man. Like, you saw it in me. Like, you saw my body. You saw it in my eyes, like my neck, my face. Like, you saw. And it wasn't okay. I vividly remember that feeling. I'd sleep right here on the couch, right here at the warehouse. Couldn't even go home, babe. I couldn't even put gas in the car, man. I don't want that for you. And I was so focused on being happy that I predicated everything on if I was happy. I will only do something if I'm happy. I will only move forward if I'm happy. And I did nothing because there was no happiness at all. Zero. I felt dead. And to a degree, I still do. And what? I don't care. If you are in the phase where you're lonely and no one gets it, no one will like wake up. No one will get it. No one will understand. They'll never understand the fucking chaos. They never will. So reset your expectations. Because now when they don't understand you, it literally becomes normal. When they look at you and they judge you and they think you're this when you're not, it's fucking normal. So when it happens, you don't need to react like, oh wow, why don't you like so what? It's normal. So what? We all want to be understood. I think every single one of us wants to be understood. It's the only thing that makes us feel like we're not alone. This world is vast, it's big. There's so many humans, and yet it's strange that we all feel alone. Over 9 billion people in this world. And to think we can't escape this eerie and disgusting feeling of feeling like I'll always be alone. So I get it. I I I really do. All my friends that I had, I don't speak to them. And if I do, it's because I'm still in the fucking city that I came up in. Do you know why people leave their city and just go? It's because they evolve, they transform, they progress. That's the point of existence. You're not supposed to stay the same your entire life. Stagnation will lead to fucking death. You're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to grow. And when you do grow, it's hard to stay in the same city that you came up in because everyone has an image of you. So when you grow and when you progress and when you just do better and when you become better and you build yourself into this man or a woman where you're unrecognizable, they look at you like, well, hey, whoa, oh, well, you might just, I get it. You're in that phase. You're looking, you're trying to discover yourself. I get it, man. But hey, look, that's not you. This is you. And that's why people fucking leave their city. Because they don't want to deal with that. Who has the fucking time or energy to work so hard behind closed doors to grow yourself to be the most impeccable person that you can become, the best version of yourself that you can become, just to have people shit on it? Maybe I'm not capable. Maybe I'm too soft and emotional because I get affected. Because you have no fucking idea what happened behind closed doors. Like, you have no fucking clue. And you never will, and it's normal. And I don't care. Good. Good. You don't understand good. You are literally showing me what normal is. Thank you for reinforcing the fact that no one will understand me, and that's normal. Thank you for reinforcing that for me. Thank you. I left my city right out of high school. I remember. I went straight into the military. I had no sense of direction at all. And when I was there, I was trying to build a character. I had no idea. I was mindless. I was raised by my mother. I didn't have my father was around, but it wasn't. Sometimes I think that if he wasn't around, it would have been a whole lot better. I think the household would have been just a whole lot better and less chaotic. no one taught me how to be a man. I was a boy entering a cold world, man. Like, I wasn't ready for that. I didn't know. I knew nothing. I knew no one. I didn't even know myself. And I had to build myself from the ground up, from dirt. And that phase of just building and destroying yourself to rubble, to rebuild and destroy it again, to rebuild, it's fucking devastating. I fucking get it, like I really do. Those memories are so vivid to me, man. I had no sense of direction. I didn't know why I was here. Though that was the phase where I was questioning everything. Finally learning how to think. I wasn't being told what to think anymore. Now I had to learn how to think. And that is the most devastating process of transformation, is figuring out how to properly think so that you can choose what to think. And I hated being in the military. It wasn't hard work. I dreamt big. I saw something for my life. I said, there's just no way that I'm meant to be here forever. I didn't want to believe it, at least. And so I leave the military and I come back here, right here, back to my city. I remember when I got out, I saw my family, and I haven't seen them for years because I was the different one. I was the one that was doing something different. I was the first to go into the military. I was trying to do this. I was the only one that didn't go to college. And if anyone else didn't go to college, they sure were fucking successful. They were doing something. I was the one with the daddy with fucking cancer. And every time I went to the family, it's just fucking pity, man. Like, I remember this. Like, this is a Vietnamese culture thing, and so if you don't get this, you're not gonna understand it. It might sound sweet to you, but like to me, like I didn't fucking want that. I would go. I remember when I was young, and I would go to these family functions, and my father, he had cancer at the time. The dude's had cancer multitudes of times. He's still going, so maybe there is some type of fucking warrior in me, but I remember no one asking me, "What's up? How are you?" And then now daddy has cancer. Oh no, your parents are getting divorced. You're staying with your mother. You still gotta come here with your father. How's your mother doing? Now you wanna fucking care? Like, go away. You don't get to care when it's too fucking late. You don't get that luxury. I'm sorry. If you're gonna care about someone, you do it now. Not when shit hits the fan and you start to pity them, feel bad for them. And I get it. Everyone has their own life. I don't take shit personally, but you don't have that luxury. Not with me. And I'll take that shit to the grave. And so I didn't see family for years. And I remember sitting down. This was my first time seeing my family. And my father knew I did not want to see my family. And he stopped forcing me to do so a long time ago. This is when I was young. He stopped. And I finally came, and I went to grandma and grandpa's house, and I'm talking to some cousins and my aunties and my uncles, and I remember the words that came out of my auntie's mouth, and I'm not gonna say who it is, but I remember what she said. She asked me, she's like, "Well, you're out the military now. What do you plan on doing?" I said, "I don't know, but I just know I want to be successful." She's like, "What do you plan on doing?" And at the time, I knew that keeping your fucking plans a secret from poisonous people was the best move on the chessboard. But I was there and I said, well, let me give this a shot. Maybe I only think they're poisonous because it's maybe a demon inside of me. Maybe I'm projecting. Maybe it's an internal problem and I simply see them how I see myself. And so I gave it a shot. I said, well, how? I don't know. Maybe business. I don't know. But I promise by 24, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be a millionaire. And I'm gonna get my mother out of that freaking salon where she just scrubs feet for a living. I'm gonna get her out of that. And she will never have to work a day in her life ever again. Every young man has a dream of becoming so successful and buying their mothers a house, a car, and making them and allowing their mothers to retire and do whatever. Every single young man, given that the relationship with their mother is relatively decent. And the words that came out of her mouth, she said, no, impossible. It's just not going to happen. And I vividly remember how I felt. Like those words, she grabbed my soul and she snatched it out of me. And I was so upset that I let someone do that to me. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. She said, no, impossible. That's not going to happen. You dream big. You're just like your father. And mind you, my father, he didn't do shit for our family. At all. Like, the dude caused so much mayhem in the house. Like, sometimes I actually believe if I didn't have a father, it would have been better. And you're probably saying, like, oh my gosh, Thompson, you're so messed up. He's human, forgive him. I have forgiven him. I've made peace with it. But that doesn't clear the fact that you were fucked up. Like, I forgive you, but damn. Like, how, like, why did you do those things? She's like, you're just like your father, you know, your father used to dream a lot when he was young too. And I looked at her and I said, what are you trying to say? Because now my father, he's not successful. He doesn't have a lot of money. He lives off other people's money. He lives off other people giving him money. He lives off the fucking government. And I know the feeling, and I know he feels like a burden when he asks people for money. Like, I get it. Like, when he was going through his chemotherapy and I couldn't stay at the house because no one was there, I had to live with my cousin. I vividly remember having to live in the guest room at my cousin's house. I'm a fucking kid, man. Like, I'm in grade school. I'm like 11, 12, 13 years old. And I felt like such a fucking burden. My cousins, we'd have dinner and the food would look amazing. And I could tell that they only made enough for the family. For the mom, the dad, the daughter, and the son. Like, that was it. And I was just an extra stomach. And so, like, I was so hungry. And the food it looked so good. And I just didn't want to feel like a fucking burden. I would grab like a bowl of rice and pieces of meat every now and then. this this memory is still fresh. So I'll catch my breath. I remember how that felt. I would go upstairs hungry and just go to sleep because I didn't want to be any more of a burden, man. They had to take me to school, pick me up, take care of me, buy me food. And so, like, sometimes I get it. Like, I look at my father and I'm like, okay, I get it. I see how I get it. But it just doesn't scrap the fact that the dude was inadequate. It doesn't scrap that fact. And so when my auntie said those words, I said, my father used to dream, huh? So I'll end up just like him. Old, rotting away, diseased, ill, begging for money. A destructive man to his family. And I had my father was next to me at the time, and I looked over to him, and there was just pain in his eyes, and I said, huh. I looked at I looked into his eyes, and I have a curse and a gift, and it's a double-edged sword where when I look at someone, I don't see their body, I see their soul. And I looked at him and I just saw disappointment. I saw a man who wished he could have done better, but it's a little too late now. And he can't take it back. And I have a brother. I have a half brother that I didn't grow up with. The dude's the dude's old, for crying out loud. Like, he's much older than me. And so my father had two wives and two families that both were not successful. I looked into his eyes and I saw pain, man, like disappointment, like regret. And it's strange because I saw something else in there too. I saw some sort of a fire. Like he wanted to tell me, like he was telling me telepathically, like he was like, you better prove my fucking sister wrong, son. Like, don't fucking be like me. But he just didn't want to say it. I saw pain and I saw anger, like that he couldn't just cuss his sister out and defend his son because that's his sister. And he just didn't want to cause any mayhem in the family with everyone around. And I saw that. And I was so angry that I let her strip me of the thing that gave me meaning. I couldn't believe I gave someone that opportunity. It devastatingly broke me. Like it was devastating. Don't even know if I freaking used the word right earlier. Like it was devastating. So when I look back on that, I think, why was I working so hard? Like, for what? To prove her wrong? And when I realized that, I said, are you serious? Like, dude, my auntie, she has a grip over my fucking life. I'm doing all of this. I'm sleeping here at the warehouse on the couch. I haven't bathed. I'm losing weight. To prove her wrong? And that was the moment where I said, I give up. I completely just gave up on being happy. I gave up. I don't care. Because there was no happiness around me. And it was awful. So if you're the black sheep of the family, you've been told these things, like the people closest to you, if you heard them say, I do not believe in you, you're not gonna do it. I get it. Like, you have no freaking idea. And it's not their fault. Which was that's what makes everything worse. Is that it's not their fault. Because I understand them. And I wish I didn't understand them. So I could hold a fucking grudge for the rest of my life. So I could hate them. But I understand them. And so I'm forced to forgive them because I get it. You just can't see what I see. How could you? I get it. You came from Vietnam over to the States. How could you imagine someone being successful at 24 or doing something at that large at such a young age? I get it. Like, it was impossible in your time. And so you think it's impossible because you're still living in your time. I don't get the luxury of holding a grudge when I understand people. I don't have that luxury. I have to look at them and literally say, I get it, no matter how devastating it may be. So if you're going through a phase right now where you're alone, you don't hang around family, you don't even have friends because no one gets you, and you don't fit in with your freaking social circle, and you don't fit in with the friends that you came up with, and you're not successful enough to find new friends, and you're not successful enough to enter a new atmosphere and just disappear, and you're in this middle stage where you don't know what to do, and you're going crazy, and you're trying everything that you could possibly do, and deep in the silence, deep in the darkness of your own freaking demise, you're all alone, and you're trying to figure it out, and you're losing yourself piece by piece trying to figure this out. Like, I get it. This is what worked for me. And that's I realized that if I turn cold, the world wins, and I did for a long time. For a very, very long time, I turned cold. I was heartless, man. Heartless. I was an animal. Like, I went at it brute force every single step of the way. And I cared about no one, just myself. And that was a monster. I hurt so many people. I made the work environment so bad for people because I was just so focused on just never feeling that pain again that I was angry 24/7. And I made people hate me, hate being around me. And I get it. Like, it's my fault. It's not your fault that you don't understand me. It's my fault that I couldn't be capable enough of just being able to fake it. I couldn't fake it. I was angry, man. I was so angry. I hurt a lot of women in my life. Good women that treated me well, like really cared for me. I was a terrible partner, terrible brother, terrible friend, terrible son. I was just awful in every way. And I never want to return back to him. And so what helped me was when I acknowledged that the moment you turn cold, the world will win. You cannot let the world win. The world wants you to turn cold. So you can spread that and give it to the next person. So now the entire world is coded. It's, it's not good. Trust me. Like you don't want to turn cold. You don't want to be heartless. You don't want to be brutal. You don't want to be cynical. You don't want that. I promise you. And so I try to understand people and see why they do things. Not take things too fucking personally. I'm fucking emotional, man. And yeah, I'm fucking emotional. I fucking break down. I fucking cry. And I fucking get shit done. Despite that. Because I don't care about happiness anymore. It was so unavailable. I couldn't find it anywhere. It was nowhere that I said, I don't care. Because it's what helped me take action despite the lack of happiness. It helped me. I don't want any of you to feel that. It's fucking awful. All that to say, you're different. You're gifted with a dream for a reason. Because if that dream that you have wasn't meant for you, you would not dream it. Because there are some people in this world who never dream. And they are okay with mediocrity for the rest of their existence. If you have a dream to be exceptional, to be phenomenal, to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be in every single way, in every single facet of your life, if that's the dream you have, that's a gift. And it's meant for you. This is not a flaw or a fluke or a mistake or a fucking glitch in the matrix. It's yours. Something bigger than this gave that to you. And you have to hold on to that. And don't let that go, because the moment you let that go, you will be a part of the rest. You'll be just like the rest. You'll fit in with the masses. You'll be mediocre. If you want to change lives, if you want to do something exceptional, it's going to take time. It's not going to take 1 year. It's not going to take 2 years. It's not going to take 3. It won't take 4. And it may take 5, maybe even 10. You have to learn how to suffer for an extended period of time, like a delusional and almost excruciatingly delusional amount of time, and be okay with it. Excruciating, I don't even know if I'm using the word right. Excruciatingly, that's the word. I get it. I really do. You can't stop. And if you can't progress, you will feel like you're dying. Humans, we work best when we either grow or we give. And if we're not doing either one, we're gonna feel like we're fucking dying. So what helped me to take action despite my lack of happiness was giving up on happiness altogether. So the next day when I woke up and I was not happy, I said, this is normal. I don't care anyways. What can I do to be valuable? What can I do to give? How can I help somebody? When you wake up and you think about happiness, that means every single day, all you're thinking about is yourself. How can I make myself happy? And that's so fucking useless. I I I get it. I really do. No one would call Thompson. None of my friends would call Thompson. And I'm not trying to give you a fucking pity story. Oh, boo-hoo, poor Thompson. I'm just showing you that if this is how you feel, I've been there. No one would call me to hang out. No one invited Thompson to hang out. No one wanted to see Thompson. No one gave a fuck about Thompson. And so I had no one. I would just be alone and just try to figure it out one by one. If I didn't know how to do something, I'd go on Google and I'd figure out how the heck do I do this. And the most devastating thing that you can do is not figure out why you're here. And that's not your purpose. Stop looking for your fucking purpose. It's so pointless. It's not about your purpose. It's bigger than that. Your purpose is like everyone else's. You're here to experience everything, live, give, grow, and connect. That's it. Everyone's purpose. That's what everyone's purpose is. What you need to focus on is your mission. Why the heck are you on this earth? Are you put here for a reason or not? And how you determine what your mission is by identifying what your gift is. And your gift is something that you do better than everyone else. And to them, it's phenomenal. It's so impressive. But to you, it's just another day at work. It's just another day. What are you talking about? It's just so easy. That's your gift. You need to take that and you need to mold it. You need to take that and mold it. Transform it, master it. And you make it a part of you, integrate it into you. Make it a part of you and you give that to the world. You just give it to the world in hopes that no one else has to feel the fucking pain that you felt. Like, that's what you need to do. You don't need to fucking sit down and think your way out of depression and anxiety. You don't need to do that. Just figure out your gift, perfect it, and give it to the world. And just give it again and give it again. And just stop thinking about yourself. And I promise you, when you do that, you'll naturally feel better. You won't feel so fucking depressed. Because it feels like you're contributing, like you're doing something for someone or something bigger than you. I'm sorry if I come off angry. It's not that, it's passion because I'm very familiar with pain. And I'm almost obsessed with it to where I love studying it, my own pain, why I feel what I feel, what caused me to react this way. Why am I unhappy? Why do I not care about being happy? I have a very intimate relationship with my pain. It's what helped me find a solution because I knew what the pain was predicated on. I knew the root. You're gonna be alone. You're not gonna have anyone. No one's gonna understand you. No one's gonna care. And it's okay. It's fucking normal. No one's gonna call you. You're not gonna make it in 1 year, or 2 or 3, or 4. But 5 to 10, you got it, man. And if you can make it happen in a year, hey, you're better than me. Congratulations. Please show other people how to do it. Because when you measure on months, weeks, and days, you're gonna do something for a month and the results won't come. And you're gonna say, well shit, maybe I need a new method. And you're just gonna keep jumping from method to method. It's not a method problem. It's a repetition problem. You're not consistent. You need to learn how to suffer for a very long time before you start seeing anything. And I need you guys to understand that it's going to take time. And you're going to be alone. And no one's going to get you. And you're going to work so hard and no one's going to know how hard you work, but they will see how good you get. They will look at you like, damn, good shit. And they will give you your flowers. And then what? What then? Is everything you're doing just for the flowers? You need to figure out how to do something for someone else, not for yourself. Not so that you can be respected, so you can be happy, so you can be content. No, give to the world. Stop being so fucking selfish. Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. Do things that make you uncomfortable, knowing that it will help somebody. That right there is golden, man. That's golden. Because we live in a world where people are so self-centered and they only care about themselves. They'll only suffer if it's for their own benefit. They won't suffer for the sake of others. That's why I do what I do. I don't want anyone to feel what I felt. Ever. No one should feel that. I would go to bed and I would fucking want to die. Like, if I didn't wake up, I would say, thank God. Fuck, like, finally. Like, that's not okay. You don't need to feel that way. No one has to feel that. I don't know how I made it out of that. I don't know. It wasn't me. This is why sometimes when you hear me talk about something bigger than me, you get the sense that I'm not one of those people that are just closed-minded, like, oh my gosh, here goes another one of them. Like, when I talk about this idea of something bigger, like I call it God. I call it God. Like it's because it doesn't make sense. I didn't pull myself out of that hole. I didn't. Something fucking picked me up, like, by the neck and pushed me. I wasn't even walking. I was an empty body. And something picked me up and said, go. It wasn't my own strength. That I can guarantee you. And that gives me hope, at least. And I don't know if there's such a thing. And I don't like to talk about it because it's too controversial. But I don't know. And that's all. I just don't know. But all I do know is that I didn't rescue myself. That I can guarantee. I didn't rescue myself. Something saved me, man. Like, something pulled me out of there. It wasn't me. And so, if, just if that idea is even 1% true, that means something out there is working with you too. You just can't give up. You can't fail unless you give up, and I need you to remember that and engrave it into your head. Failure is literally impossible if you decide not to give up. And I know you want to, and I know right now you just want to stop. Call it. I know. Like, trust me, I know. But you have to keep going. And what's helped me was giving up on happiness. I was able to keep going. Even now, right here. I'm able to keep going because I don't care about being happy. It means nothing. I feel good when I do stuff that benefits others, and that makes me feel good. And to a degree, if that is what you call happiness, then I guess I can say I'm happy. And I definitely don't care if it's here or if it's not here. What I do care about is figuring out how I can use my gift and just give to the world. Because I remember how it felt to be selfish and how many lives I ruined. And I don't ever want to be that man again. And so you need to look back on the man or the woman that you were at a dark, dark time in your life. And you need to get angry. Like, don't ever be that person again. Like, freaking change. Like, please. Like, you're gonna have a family one day. Right? Some of you may have a family now. A daughter, a son, a wife, a husband. Like, you might have a family now. And if you don't, you're gonna have one day. And they're fucking depending on you. Like, don't destroy them. Don't let your children see you messed up. They'll remember that shit. I promise you. Children remember. Like, they fucking remember, man. Because I do. I remember all the bullshit when I was a child. All of it. I've made peace with that. I know I may come off and I may sound like I'm traumatized, but not. It's a memory that I will never let go of. Because it's so profound. It reminds me that I have to do better for my family one day. I can't let my wife suffer. I can't let my son see this. I can't let my daughter see this. I won't. I will take care of them. I'll give them everything they want. I'll give up my life for my family. I'll do everything for them. I'll die. I'll fucking bleed. I'll cut off every limb I have for them. And I think that's the best way to go through life, is to be someone that can sacrifice for something else other than your fucking self. You're not done yet. Your story is not finished. You think you're approaching the end of the book. You're barely turning the page. Like, you have no idea what's in store if you just try. Just try. And if you're in a position where you have nothing, you're broke, you have no one, that's even better, because you're dangerous. You have nothing to lose. No one is in your life. No one likes you. No one wants to hang with you. No one wants to call you. No one wants to understand you. No one gives a fuck about you. You have nothing. And so you can take the biggest risk that you can fucking take. You can. And who's gonna judge you? They're already doing it. I don't want to feed you a dream of what trying to become successful looks like. It's agonizing. You lose yourself. You forget who or even what you are. You become so deeply immersed in this gut-wrenching feeling of feeling inadequate and not knowing what to do that you stop caring. And the journey of success rips you. It literally grabs the meaning. Whatever gives you meaning, it takes that and it rips it from you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit here and feed you a dream of what this looks like. It's awful. But if you can make it past that, I will say that if you could just make it past that period where you want to fucking die and you want to give up and you're done, if you can make it past that, you'll start to naturally feel better, because you'll discover your gift and you'll work on it and you'll begin to give it to the world. And when you give it to the world, you'll see that it begins to actually help people. People's lives actually begin to change, and you get to feel good because you played a role in their transformation, their upward spiral. You played a role in that. That gives you peace, because that means there's one less person in the world that has to feel what you feel. And I think that's the point. I don't think the point of becoming successful is to flash all the money, all the cars, all the accolades, all the success. I think becoming successful is truly becoming so good that You have the power to inspire. And when you inspire, you allow someone to never have to feel what you felt. And I don't give a fuck about what you say. If you say, "Oh well, Thompson, people have to go through that to grow," no, no, just no. No one has to feel that pain. No one has to feel like they don't want to live anymore. No one has to be stripped from. No one has to be stripped of their meaning. The thing that literally constitutes their existence. Like, nobody. There's already enough pain in the world. We don't need more of that. No. And so, if this helped you in any way, please let me know, and I'll do more of it. That's literally how I base what I do. It's by whatever you guys want. I don't do anything for me. I do everything for you. I do this because I hope that I said something to ignite something within your heart so that you can just go, so that you can just take action and start to progress and become so good and become so much better than me and inspire so many more lives than me. And hopefully I can help you do all that and literally show you how to avoid feeling like you don't want to wake up tomorrow. It's gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen as fast as you want and the way that you want. And you have to be okay with that. And you have to make peace with that. And when you do, I promise you that you will progress. You will do better. And when you progress and you start doing better, you will feel better. And when you feel better, you'll actually be able to do more. And when you do more, you get more things done. And the results come in quicker. And when the results come faster, you can help more people. I'm not saying everyone should try this. I'm just saying this is what worked for me. And so if whatever you're doing doesn't work for you, then I would just say consider this. Just consider it. All my men out here, take that risk, man. Be bold, be courageous, be fearless, be brave. Go approach that girl, man. Go approach that woman. Talk to her. Shoot your shot. Start that new business venture. Do something that's scary. Just do it. You'll gain a skill, and that skill is if I lose everything and I fail, and what? I'll do it again. That's tenacity. That's a valuable skill to have. And all my ladies, all my women, don't be too hard on yourself. I know that in this world, there are a lot of people that preach, you gotta feel good about yourself. You gotta do this. You gotta love yourself. I disagree. I think if you look in the mirror and you're fucked up and you're flawed and you could be better, and you lie and delude, live in a delusion, and you say, I love you. Oh, I'm so amazing. You're fucking pathological. You're trying to rationalize your own inadequacy, and that's not okay. You don't get that luxury. You get to look in the mirror and say, this is what's fucked up with me. I'm this, 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 and this. And I can do this, 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 and this. And you need to literally sculpt yourself and become something else. Because there's people dependent on you. This isn't about your life. It's about the future family you're going to have, or the current one. I believe in God. It gives me hope that there is something, there is a force, there is an omniscient and omnipotent force out here that has preordained everything in existence. And that gives me hope because it feels as though I am constantly being I'm constantly being looked after, and I'm constantly being protected and understood, and it gives me hope. And to tell you the truth, I acknowledge the fact that what if whatever I believe is false, and I don't know what I'd do. I'd be hopeless, and it would cause me to fall into a state of desolation and anarchy and complete chaos. And so I choose to cling on to that, and I hold on to it for dear life because I know how it feels to be hopeless, and I don't want to feel that again. And so if that means I have to cling on to something to give me hope, I'll do it, and I'll gladly do it. Because when I look back on my life, it's things just happen in ways that just don't make sense. I haven't answered why everything happened, and that's very strange, isn't it? When you look back on your life and you have an answer to how everything happens, is that not strange? That tells you that things aren't just coincidence. Maybe things actually happen for a reason, and you're not gonna know the reason unless you allow time to do exactly what she's always done and behave exactly how she has always behaved, and just wait, and you'll see. You'll see the lesson in everything. You'll see. The grass is not greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. Now, people have different yards, and some grass may require more water or less water or more sun or less sun. But you need to water your grass. You need to take care of your garden. That means you need to nourish yourself, feed yourself. Don't get so caught up with consuming content that you do nothing, that you just sit in bed and you start rotting away. Don't do that. Don't do it. Whatever you learn, you apply it and you execute. And you freaking do it again the next day and the next day. And you don't give up no matter what. Because the moment you do, you fail. I'm sorry. And that's the easiest way to fail, is to give up. If you don't give up, there's literally no other way you can fail. Failure is predicated on if you give up. And if you refuse to give up, you will never fail. I guarantee you. And that's the beauty of it. You have a guarantee now. So go start that venture. Go. Go do the thing that everyone's scared to do. Do it. Just do it. What's the worst that can happen? If you guys like these type of videos, just let me know, and I'll do more of these.